Hey everybody, good Saturday to you. I just wanted to come on and chit chat with you guys, see if anybody wanted to chat, ask me any questions. There's a couple of things I'd like to talk about, but I'm gonna wait till you guys get in. I am at work, um, taking a nice break, and I'm in a parking garage. So, for the privacy of those around me and myself, this is why the camera's like this, so don't mind. It's really the content of what I need to say or what I want to say is what's important, huh? So, I guess while I'm waiting for people to come in, I wanted to tell you guys that I did pull some cards for Ashley Marie Williams. She is a young girl, or she's not a young girl. She's a young lady that moved out to California from Ohio. And I saw her family on News Nation. They did a piece with Marnie. I think her name is Marnie Hughes. And I found that there was a connection to like some kind of biotech research. There were people around her that were not cool. It talked about hospital stays. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna go ahead and pull those cards. It's a lot of cards, guys. Like, it's a lot of cards. I was just gonna preface for you, but since we're here, let me go ahead and get all these cards out. All right. Ashley Williams, bear with me, guys, okay? Because I was not planning to show these cards. Last night I did all of this. I was drugged. Again, this is Ashley Marie Williams from Ohio originally. Moved out to California where she disappeared this summer. Now, when I saw the report, they interviewed the guy that was, I guess, running the rooming house where she was, and I got bad vibes about him. Like, I felt like he was gaslighting the parents and also like the cops, like acting like he was like, oh, she hasn't been here since, oh, and my spidey senses was going up about him. So look, I was drugged, I was sexually assaulted. This is about Ashley Marie Williams, who went missing out in California. I believe she's 29 years old. And I'm talking to those in the chat who are just coming in. I did these cards for her last night. It was a lot of cards, guys. It's a lot of cards. So I'm just gonna run through these right quick, and then we'll pick up. But after this, I want to talk about some other things with you. And if you have questions, feel free to ask them, because I'm gonna do a question and answer. Okay, question and answer after these cards. I was randomly attacked. A criminal organization was involved with this. She also indicated that there's other people where she's being held. Okay. Medical malpractice, in the sense that this is some kind of illegal, like biochemical harvesting from victims that are being held against their will. Again, this is about Ashley Marie Williams, whose family, I think it was last week or the week before last, was on Marnie Hughes's News Nation's report on, missing juvenile student aged. Maybe that's the kind of people or the demographic that's being held. Hispanic. I got this a lot in Another Dimension. It's like she's confused about like what her composition is, you know. White Caucasian. Again, this is either the captors or it's talking about other people who were being held there, because there's an indication, 3 to 6 people, that it was a scam. It also talks about a car accident as well. Ashley Marie Williams. So at the end of this, I'm going to put her picture up and in the woods. Put some other information up. Crawl space. It's like she's being held. And when I saw the news report, I did not feel like she was deceased. I did feel like she was somewhere there, like she was being kept somewhere. I told someone I trusted and now I regret it. I told the wrong person and it backfired. I think that because she has a history of mental health issues because she was assaulted by a friend, actually, somebody that she trusted out in Ohio before she moved to California. So she went to a clinic, hospital, admitted to hospital. So I'm wondering if while she was in California, she went to seek mental health treatment and one of the doctors there is in on this thing because she's saying that she told somebody stuff and it backfired. So what if she was having like a discussion with like a therapist? Again, medical malpractice, that card came up. There's a lot of doctors that are involved in this dark stuff. I mean, it's big money. So you never know who the hell you're telling stuff to or who's treating you or what they're really into on the side. The events that surround this case were instigated for an escalation to do me harm. I was cremated or my body was burned. I think she was burned, and I'm thinking that she was branded, particularly, like she was branded, because I feel like she's being held against her will along with others. They came to my home. They took me from my home. Now remember that the special that was on News Nation. I swear the guy where she was staying in his rooming house, and the guy was on. He was talking to the parents on camera. And that guy did not rub me the right way. Hospital Medical Center, again, another Hospital Medical Center card. She was there at the hospital, must have been seeking treatment. Maybe she was trying to get meds, new meds, because again, she went through this extremely traumatic situation in Ohio before she moved out there. So she may have been there seeking assistance at the hospital or a local clinic. Okay. Victim knows them. Again, this is bringing me back to where she was living. She was living in a rooming house that was co-ed. So there were men and women living there. And I feel like the guy that... Something's not right there. I'm not at peace. And I haven't exactly established if she's she doesn't... I don't know. I get the feeling that she doesn't know if she's dead or alive, or she's just in a state where she's not able to express like whatever she's going through specifically or what she's feeling or her composition clearly through the cards that I've provided, because she keeps telling me she's in a different dimension. They've done this before. Yeah. Cause this is like some kind of like group of like medical professionals who are biochemically sourcing, harvesting from kidnapped women, kidnapped girls. I did it for the money. Again, this is another one of those cards. I'm in an alternate dimension. I am outside of my body, but I still feel alive, confused about my condition. All right. There was another card that says she's in another dimension. So that's what I mean when I say she doesn't really... The person who harmed me has killed before. So some of these cards are redundant because they were drawn from two different true crime decks. I was tricked into leaving my phone and wallet at home. Remember, I talked a lot about that with a couple of the readings I did recently about how people are leaving home and they're leaving their cell phones and stuff, which is weird to me because most people will take something with them. I'm brokenhearted. All right. Either I'm in a cult, taken to a cult, which I think is what it is. She was taken, when she was abducted, she was taken, like this organization is like, it's a group, it's an organized group of like biochemical harvesting criminals, and they're doctors or medical professionals because they're stealing like blood. They're sourcing melanin and other things like that. And melanin is high grade, like it's worth more than gold, melanin, okay? And this is a Black American woman. Those closest to me were involved. I'm telling you, it goes back to that rooming house. Somebody was probably like, like, because these people that are in this industry, you got to remember, if you're the type of person that likes to get easy money and you really don't want to work and you're plugged into like these dark things that are going on like around you in society and you want some easy money, I mean, who's to say that your neighbors aren't into like this sort of thing where they wouldn't try to get you caught up in some shit, like trying to set you up to get taken. or something. Because these industries are pretty huge. All right, I was picked up by somebody in their vehicle. Casual acquaintances involved, housemates, roommates, neighbors, cashier at corner store, fake friends, etc. These are just examples of casual acquaintances that were involved. But I was thinking more like the roommates, because she was living in a rooming house. Desire, lust, attraction is part of it. Aged 20 to 50. It was a robbery, an abduction. I need an abduction card. Again, I was burned or cremated. I think she was branded. Like they branded her. I was sold. I was hunted on a private estate for sport. Now this could translate to anything. This could just be like you were there with a group of people, and it could be any scenario, but it's something along these lines. Like these are captives that are being held. They're probably being made to do things for entertainment or for scientific reasons, and it feels like that, like they're being hunted for sport. But these are captives. Gender-based, because again, this is biochemical harvesting. They probably needed specific type of demographics that they would be working with. So gender-based as in female. Victim of a serial killer. When they take people, these are permanent abductees. So when they're done with them, they harm them. So that would be a serial killer, especially if the demographic is specific, it's gender-based. So terminating them at the end of using them is, that's what's going to happen. So technically that is a serial killing. Okay, so this is the water cards with her. I was drowned or I was submerged in water. Another one, placed in a body of water. That could be part ritual too, because they have these rituals for children involving water. Taken into the underground. Again, abducted, hidden. She's being held somewhere. So that sounds about right. So again, like when I saw this story, I didn't feel like she was deceased. I felt like she was out there, but she was just being held. A female is involved. A lot of people around you could be involved in this shit, because these people they have to be sophisticated. If they're gonna make their marks and make their money, and there's a lot of money in this industry, you can't discount anybody from being involved in this. She was not employed there, but when I think of coworkers, I'm thinking like people around her. People around her. This organization was dealing in drugs and contraband. Contraband is just illegal stuff, body parts, chemicals, drugs, whatever it is. It's something that's illegal. So drugs or contraband. Adrenochrome came up because, again, this is biochemical harvesting. So it's not just adrenochrome, or it's not just blood or platelets. It's like melanin, which is worth more than gold. Okay. I got the yes card. I forgot what I asked, but it was positive towards the theme of the reading. Okay. Black magic, blood rituals. She says I'm still alive, which is what I thought. But again, because of the drugs, those cards where she's in another dimension, or she feels like she's not alive, or she's in another, whatever it is, I'm sure that has to do with the drugs. Race-based hate crime. I guess you can call it that, because biochemically sourcing melanin would be race-specific. It would be towards Black Americans. So, I mean, it is definitely race-based, and it would be considered a hate crime because they're abducting women and killing them when they're done using them. There are other abductees being held there too. I walked into a trap. I was tricked. Remember, people around you. And when you're depressed or you've gone through like mental health stuff or you have like trust issues and you're trying to get away from that, you're trying to get around that. She was probably in therapy because, again, we got the hospital card, the clinic card, and all of that. I mean, that's a slippery slope. You know, you're trusting people, you're trying to break out of your fear and all that stuff from your trauma. And there could be so many people around you that are involved in this thing. I come to my family in their dreams. I don't think that makes her deceased. You can still do that when you're alive. You can come to people and ask for help. So this is essentially what's happening to her and the other victims. Parasitic predators seek to take from the victim. So when we say vampire, it doesn't necessarily mean like a vampire being. It just means that these are the things. Need something from the victim. Just a parasite, really. Multiple people involved. This is an organization of criminals and doctors, medical professionals. Motive is money. It's always money, most of the time. I was given away or sold by a parent or loved one. So somebody she trusted, somebody she was dealing with. It wasn't her parents. It was somebody she was dealing with out there, somebody she trusted. And I think it was somebody in that damn house that she was living at. That creepy ass guy that gave me weird vibes. I was harmed by a jealous spouse, partner, or someone I was dating, or of someone I was dating. So the spouse of somebody you're dating somebody and they got a baby mama or somebody that's hating on you, jealous. Again, another card. I'm alive. I'm alive in an alternate dimension. So again, we get this when you have the victims that are drugged. They're on these medication drips and shit. I went through a portal. Again, side effect from a drug, possibly, that she's being given. It also says, I cheated on my spouse, girlfriend, or boyfriend, which is kind of wild. She wasn't out there that long, but that doesn't mean, she wasn't dealing with anybody. Here we go. Drugged for a prolonged period of time. That can cause psychosis, making you think that you are in some sort of alternate reality. Again, another water card, okay? So we got submerged in water. We got, the other two water cards, and now this one. Submerged underwater in a car. Was there a car accident? And she was rescued from it, or she was with somebody, or child, I don't know. These cards are just coming out. My disappearance was due to an occult ritual. And you can say that because, they're sourcing biochemical substances from people basically for sorcery. They're using the biochemical essence of others for like medication, cosmetics, like all these other things, taken to an island that could be literal or metaphysical, okay? Her parents, I'm sure she's been calling out to her parents. Her dad was very emotional on the show. It was so sad to watch it. He was very emotional, worried about his daughter. Abducted during a traffic stop. That could go with the accident, like the car being submerged. Maybe somebody pulled her out. Maybe the car accident was staged. We had the scam card before, 3 to 6 people. This could have been an elaborate setup because you got to remember, these are medical professionals. There's a lot of money that goes into these operations, these dark, illegal operations, and you never know what the setup is, like how elaborate these things can be when they're taking people. All right, I cheated on my spouse, parent, girlfriend, boyfriend. That's the second cheating card. I was mistaken for someone else. That could be a part of this as well, like some essence of that. I was living a double life. Maybe she was misrepresenting the fact that she had some issues. Remember the card that came out, if you were watching from the beginning, because these are a lot of cards. She said that she gave information to somebody and it backfired. sometimes it's called masking. You know what I mean? A lot of people mask. People who are on the spectrum will mask. If you're fighting depression or other things, the best way to get past it is to kind of put yourself in a mind state that's outside of it. So if you're living a double life, you're really just trying to reinvent yourself. So that could be an essence of it as well. So I know when I watch this back, because I always watch all of my readings back, I might pull something, like something might come together for me and make more sense for me. But again, this is for Ashley Marie Williams. Ashley Marie Williams, she went missing from California. She's originally from Ohio. I'm going to put the information in after this live. But I originally came to do the live because I wanted to take some questions from you guys and talk about some other things. But because I had drawn these cards last night for Ashley, and it was so many cards, I was like, I can't do this live tonight or last night. It was so many cards. So I just wanted to show you that right quick until people started coming in. So I wanted to ask you guys about past life stuff. Like if there's anybody out there that remembers their past life. I've had many past lives that I remember vividly. And I just wanted to ask you guys, like, I wanted to engage with you guys some. Past lives, supernatural experiences. Talk to me. I'm open, I'm interested. I want to hear. I want to hear anybody's experiences or anything like that. Let me know. Hell no. Hell no. You don't remember any past life experiences? Mine are very vivid. When I was younger, there was a lot going on when I was younger. Like there was a lot of activity around me. Every house that I lived in had energy. I was able to see in other dimensions. I was seeing people that weren't there. And not only was I seeing people who weren't there, I was seeing dimensional spaces that didn't exist, which means I was seeing spaces within spaces, like real spaces, real places. Yo, your girl has had some experiences and seen some things. So I'm going to tell you something right quick. And I'm in a parking garage because I'm at work, all right? That's why the camera's down, because I gotta respect the privacy of people coming in and out of here. All right. So when I was like 6 or so, I was at my cousin's house, and they lived in a 2-family house, right? So they had the bottom floor, which means they had command of the basement. So I think we was young. She's crazy too. Like she was trying to I remember her frying chicken or trying to fry some chicken. And I remember her taking a chicken fresh out the pack. Now, we're too young to realize that you're supposed to clean chicken before you cook it, right? But it's like she knew what she was doing, right? And I didn't question it. So when her mom came home, her mother ran us out the kitchen and we went down into the basement. So we go down in the basement, and I don't know, there wasn't a precursor to it. I just suddenly became aware of like there being an old man walking around down there, like wearing he was like half dressed. And when I say old man, I feel like he was like 90 years old with a hunchback. Nice. He was, it wasn't like negative energy or anything like that. It was just an innocent old man walking around. And when I looked to my right side, coming down the stairs, when I looked to the right side, it's like the space, it opened up to like, I'm not going to say catacombs, but it opened up to this subterranean space. And this guy was just walking around, and it didn't faze me. I just noticed it. I noticed it. I saw him. I looked, and I wasn't moved either way. But that's just one. And I think I was like 6 or 7. My cousin was a little bit older than me. But that's one of the experiences I've had where I've seen things that I'm not supposed to see or that aren't supposed to be there. And like I said, I'm not just talking about people. I'm talking about places. Like places opening up. I remember my mom sending me to the store, and there's in the city that I was born in, there's this old bridge. And underneath that bridge, I remember seeing people from like a different time, a different place. that really weren't supposed to be there. I remember seeing them and seeing them see me as I was walking past, going to the store or coming back down the hill, going home. And when I say they weren't supposed to be there, because if you look at their clothes, it was like their clothes were from the wagon days, from like Oregon Trail, you know? And I can hear the music, I can see them dancing. Like it was like a joyous like event, whatever it was that was happening over there, and it was under this bridge. And I just noticed it. Like, I don't know, these things never scared me or affected me like that. These are just things that I noticed. And as you get older and you realize, well, that that wasn't supposed to happen. Like that's not supposed to be there, or those people weren't supposed to be there. And so I realized I was seeing things and people and places that don't exist in this timeline, that don't exist in this reality. So, but that happened a lot in my prepubescent years. My prepubescent years were vivid with all kinds of experiences. So yeah, so there's some of that. And then like after puberty, there was a whole other slew of things that was going on in the 90s. I was astral traveling all the time, spontaneously. Like I'm not one of those people that knows how to do it and then I just go to bed and I do it. It's not like that with me. It just, whenever it happens, and I have no idea when it's gonna happen. So yeah, I just wanted to check in with y'all and see. I know this is an impromptu, it's an impromptu live, but these are kind of some of the things that I want to get into and engage with you guys about. Is like these metaphysical topics and subjects and things like that. And I wanted to give you guys an opportunity to ask questions, ask about how I read, what I read, the kind of cases that I want to read, or anything like that. So any kind of engagement is welcomed. So I guess with that, if there's no other questions, I get oh yeah, the trolls. I gotta figure that piece out. But I gotta figure that piece out. And I'll figure something out. I'm used to being on my desktop, but because I'm out and about and I'm working all the time, I'm like on my phone, and I gotta figure out how to do all of that. But please don't go. Oh, okay, I'm here. I'll stay on with you. I have ordered pizza for the. Oh, I got me some pizza and a little bit of wings. Yeah. Maybe let's see. Okay. So you have any questions, Demi? Oh, I see. I got you. Yeah, see, I got this timeout thing. All right. I think Demi's gone then. See, I be talking and I don't really be looking. I gotta look at this thing more. So, yeah, anybody got any questions, throw them at me. I'm here. And if there's a certain night that you want to come on and have like these supernatural discussions or talk about like these quantum type subject things, like past lives or supernatural experiences, like whatever, I would love to do that. Just let me know. Leave a comment after the afterwards, letting me know like, what night would be good. You know what I'm saying? That sort of thing. When you would like for me to come on so we can talk about these kinds of things. All right. Yeah, I took care of some of those damn trolls. If there's no trolls, I will. Okay, so I timed out some of them. Okay, but yes, I love that. Hey, where are you from? I'm from the Northeast. I am from the Northeast. Demi, where are you from? Is this Demi from Cali? We saw a fairy. Really? Wow, that's exciting. Oh, Oregon, so beautiful. Ashot, Ashot, where are you from? Really? Do you have a YouTube channel? I mean, will you be posting it or anything? Have you posted it? You got to see that movie, The Fairy Faith. I swear by that movie. Oh, you're from Armenia. Nice. The um the Eastern Bloc is beautiful over there. You guys have some beautiful in the summer. That lake, what is that? That's the Black Sea, I think, over there. I'm generally good with geography. I think it's a Black Sea that you guys sit on. I know it's beautiful over there in the summer. Well, probably all the time, but yeah. That is awesome. Nice, welcome. Thank you for stopping by. Make sure you subscribe for more videos. You have anything to share, Ashat, about anything supernatural you want to share? You know? Have you been to the Carpathian Mountains? There's a lot of portals in those mountains. People have gone missing in there, in those mountains. The Carpathians. The Carpathian Mountains. All of these, like, okay, so that's it. That's like a huge discussion I'd like to get in at some point. Like people that go into these national forests, because they cornered off these national forests because they know that they're hot spots for vortexes and portals, and that's the only way that they can control the information. A lot of people go missing, and that's why like when David Politis was saying that they don't keep track of how many people go missing, but they cornered it off and called it a national park. You know what I mean? Federalized the land so that they can control. They know who's going in. You know what I mean? They can control it better that way. And for all we know, what's even coming through these portals? Because a lot of those places like have those staircases like that are in the middle of nowhere that even the rangers won't go anywhere near. I lost it, but it was iridescent. Oh my god, that's so sweet. Oh, wow. And I know Oregon is beautiful. There's so many beautiful places there. Have you visited Crater Lake? I have extraterrestrial experience all the time. It seems like somehow I've been so it's very frustrating. Wow. Yeah, that's sweet. And you're probably connected genetically to some of these, to one of these groups. A lot of people are. Before like the whole ET and UFO thing, became popular recently, like back in the 80s and 90s, it was huge. A lot of people were being taken, going missing, group abductions. I've had some. I mean, I've had some experiences. I probably won't share it for a while here, but pretty prolific experiences that I've had. Um, yeah, yeah, and and Oregon's a hot spot for a lot of stuff. I think was it Oregon or Washington that established the first law protecting Sasquatch from there are like laws that protect Squatch folk out there. It's one of those states. And when I heard that, I was in love. I was like, yeah, because I mean, we live on a plane that is inhabited by all kinds of beings, and they all deserve like to be protected. These are sentient, intelligent, conscious beings. Just because they look different doesn't mean they're not people. They're just non-human people. But they still have the right to exist, and that's their only habitat. So yeah, I believe they definitely need laws protecting them. Um, but that's cool, yeah. Yeah, Scotch folk. So your ET stuff, like what's the deal with the ET thing? So have you had you have um you have experiences that you recall, or is this like dream time? Are these events that are happening at night? Things stemming from childhood, like what's going on? Understood. Yeah. Understood. I commend you, single mom, working hard these days. I hope you're getting all the support that you need. No, I'm not gonna think you're crazy. Trust me. Listen, this is my psychic channel. I have another channel that the stuff on there that you wouldn't even believe. Like you shit. You wouldn't believe. You're gonna be like, bitch, I ain't fucking with you. Like I ain't fucking with you. That's what you gonna say. I got a whole nother channel that goes into that sort of thing. So don't even worry about it. Like I get it. I get it more than you think. I want to do that too. I'm watching YouTube videos trying to learn. I was gonna buy a kit so I could practice, but I want to get my nail tech stuff on, and excuse me, I want to get my nail tech stuff on, and I also do hair. Like I do quite a few things. I make jewelry. I do hair. Um, I'm a nurse. Yeah. Why don't you email me? Why don't you email me and I'll send you my channel. I'll send you some stuff, and you'll see my channel. Readings X Bella. Readingsxbella at Gmail. And I'll be happy to send you some stuff. I don't want to put it out here because there's going to be people that might see this video that really isn't into that. And, sometimes you just got to, like, sometimes, like, I don't know. So, some people are really sensitive with that sort of thing. You start deviating from the content, or they know that, you're doing other stuff, and it kind of fractures and it causes issues. I've seen it. So yeah, just go ahead and email me and I'll send you some stuff. Yeah, it takes a while to get clients. 'Cause I'm too slow. Yeah. Girl, nursing school was no joke. Yeah, it's readings X, so readings with an S at the end, readings X Bella at Gmail. It's also in the information section too. Yeah. Um Yeah, nursing school was no joke. No joke. And I mean no joke. Like, we were getting quizzed every day, tested 3 times a day. We had clinicals. Like, it was no joke. But the information that you gain, like when I was in nursing school, I learned that I love chemistry. I learned that I loved chemistry and A&P, anatomy and physiology. So even if you go to nursing school and you decide that you hate working in nursing homes because they're death camps a lot of times, not all of them are run crappy, but most of them, the knowledge that you take away, you can build on that knowledge and further your education. It's just the information is just like impeccable. It really is. So yeah, but I'm multifaceted, so there's all kinds of stuff that I can do. I'm a songwriter. I'm a musician. I have 2 albums out on YouTube under my artist name, and they're like metaphysically themed songs. It's like it's like an instrumental, like soundscape type of thing, where the music is intended, the sound of the music is intended to, um, there's no lyrics. So you're driven by rhythm and like, and the themes within. It's kind of hard to explain, but if you know what soundscapes are, then it's pretty much that. So, but they're based on like natural earth elements and things like that. I tried to be a nurse. I had a game plan. I hear you. I'm a medical assistant. That's good because you learn a lot as a medical assistant. You learn a lot as a medical assistant. I got bullied during my practicum. Lost out on 250. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. I'm sorry to hear that. That's okay. You can always pick it up when, if you want to go back, you can always pick it up because you already have a foundation of and know what to expect. But that's really good. Like, I commend you being a single mom and doing what you have to do to put your best foot forward. But keep doing what drives you. Have patience with yourself and just, walk a straight line, girl. It's very mean. Oh, really? Oh, that's unfortunate. Yeah. Very quickly, yeah. Mm. Well, that's just because they're afraid. And people like you that stand out and that have the confidence to walk through like the turds that they leave. I mean, most of the time when you're dealing with people like that, they're afraid of their own shadow. That's why they click together and feed off of each other's negativity because they don't have a spine. Like they need to click up to have some kind of a spine. And even then, it's not because they're bullying people, which means they're just afraid. But I hear what you're saying. It's very sickening and toxic to be in those circles where people just they're not evolved and they don't want to evolve. They don't want to grow up. So, yeah, I feel you. I hear you. And no, and that's fun too. Like, it's a beautiful way to be creative. Exactly. When you're yeah, exactly. Because your light disturbs their demons. You know what I mean? And they see you. They see you a mile away. I get it a lot too. I'm getting it a lot more now than ever. People looking at me, like certain types of people looking at me because they know that I see them for what they are. But I deal with everybody with grace and respect. Even people that I know are problematic because part of it is like setting the example. You have to model the behavior that you would hope to see out of people. So a lot of what I do is modeling the appropriate behavior. But I like to deal with people with grace and respect too, because a lot of some people are probably coming from places where they just don't, because people are dealing with life lessons at different times in their life. Like we all go through pretty much the same stuff, like theoretically, right? But not everybody goes through these lessons at the same time in their life. So you could be encountering somebody that hasn't evolved. They haven't gone through the fire yet like you have. So sometimes like given that grace is kind of healing and inspires them to be better than what they are, even if they don't tell you that it inspired them, even if they don't tell you that it helped them, it made their day, that you smiled at them or that you were kind even though they were being an asshole. Because when I was younger, there were moments like that where people really just had to set the example, and I was like, oh, and it was humbling. You know what I mean? But it made me want to be like them. It made me want to do what they did. You know what I mean? So that's why you always want to do that. And then the other reason too is that you don't want to not be lightful, like not be in your light, not be who you are because somebody else is in their lower self. You know what I mean? Because after it's said and done and you look back and you're like, damn, that person was sick, they were in a lowly place, but that's when they needed my light the most. You know what I mean? And I can never compromise myself and my being in sharing the light because somebody else, you know what I mean? Because of, some whatever state somebody else is in. And that's something you end up feeling bad about, in the end. You're like, damn, I still should have been myself. I shouldn't let this person take me away from, you know, who I'm supposed to be in that moment, or who I am, who I really am. And the good Lord knows I've I've failed that test many times, but I'm striving to grow and to be, yeah, so yeah, it's hard though, girl. I mean, it's hard. Everybody's got their stresses, everybody's got their breaking point. But just be true to yourself and don't let anybody dim your light or take your light from you, because that's yours. You came in here with that. It's healing. It's what's getting you through this hell world. It's healing for you and for others. It's your gift. It's your superpower. Don't let nobody take that from you. You know? Yeah. Thank you. Just going through the journey. Child, like everybody else, going through the journey. Even though I've had like these experiences, and even though my life has been a certain way, I'm still, as long as we're here in these man-made systems, in this low vibrational world, we're gonna go through the same shit. You know what I mean? And nobody really escapes that. Even if you're big, like even as a starseed, you're bigger than this stuff, right? You're bigger than it. You can look at it and you're like, damn, like this place, the vibration is too low for me. I'm bigger than this, but you're still in it. And sadly, we're still cycling through this shit. So it's like you just have to stay true to yourself and stay true to your light ship. Because if not, you're gonna regret it. You're gonna beat yourself up for not walking in your true light. Because that person needs you. That person needs you. Whether they let you know that or not, whether you know it or not, they need your light. You know? Yeah. Yeah, you're supposed to be a light, but you're not supposed to be gullible or a victim. And that there's a fine line with that. There's a fine line with that. You know what I mean? A very fine line. You got to listen to your gut, for one. Listen to your gut instincts. You have to have boundaries. Like the other night I was driving, and you know how there's people sometimes at like intersections and they got up signs and stuff? I had a couple dollars, but I had food, and I felt like food probably was more beneficial. Actually, the the money was for gas, because gas is still high over here. But I gave him a whole swath of food, and I said, I really don't have cash. I have cash, I just didn't have cash to give. There's a difference. So I gave him a bunch of food. But you have to have boundaries. There's nothing wrong with that. And anybody that makes you feel funky or funny over it, and doesn't respect your feelings and your boundaries, then you need boundaries with their ass. Because that's a predator for your ass. In one way or another, that's a predator for you. You cannot have people in your periphery who do not respect your feelings. I've had family members like that. I was born into the worst fucking familiar dynamic, and I apologize for the swearing, but I know there's a reason for it. I'm a sensitive, I'm a lightful person, and I've had some very hard lessons with bloodline familiar people. And learning how to have boundaries and to say no, and understanding, yeah, you had a shitty life and I seen you go through things, but you're also not remorseful for the things that you've done to me and others. So if you're not remorseful, then, this is where I have to cut off my sympathy for you. I just can't, and I'm not going to honor your needs over mine when you can't even validate me as a human. You can't respect my humanity, then I don't give a fuck about you, because, you don't give a fuck about me. And I love who loves me. And and that's the language we're speaking now. So boundaries are incredibly important for people like us. And again, respecting your light Because everybody here, like once you get to a certain point in life, you realize, some people realize this earlier than others, that this is a world that eats. People eat each other. That's all they do. It's a cannibalistic world. You know, what happens? We kill animals so that we can further the life force in this body. I hate that system. I don't like it. You know, there's a better way, but some of us need protein. And we need more protein than what green leafy vegetables are going to give us. So sadly, you know, we're taking the life of others to prolong our life, and that's a shitty system. But yeah, it's the same thing with people. People will take. So, you know who you are, believe in yourself, straighten up your back, stand up tall, put your feet down. And that's why I have that. That's part of why I have that group too for women on Facebook. Because I want people to see, I want women to see, you know, some type of like self-defense stuff. You know what I'm saying? I want our, when I say our people, I mean the feline species, the feline, the female species, to have a chance. We're the ones that are at risk most to be victims of violence. You know, so I want us to have a fighting chance to defend ourselves and to have some kind of skills. So that's why I have that group. Again, I have a Facebook group. The link is up there for anybody that's listening. Nothing is required. Just enter the group, and you don't have to like the videos. Just watch them. Just give yourself a chance. If you don't have brothers that can't teach you, uncle, father, somebody that can teach you, or sister that can teach you how to fight, just keep those clips there. Just watch them and maybe find somebody to practice so that you have some kind of chance. I'm so tired of hearing these stories and these situations where our women are just like being violated and like disappeared. You know, I'm so tired of it. There's too much information. There's too many empowering things out there for us. So yeah, you got to have boundaries and protect yourself, girl. You don't owe nobody your peace. You're a mom. You don't owe nobody your peace. Okay? You belong to your kids. So you don't owe nobody shit other than your kids and yourself. You know? Yeah, that's good. That's very good. I'm happy for you for that. Okay. And you survived. I'm so glad you survived. I am. Okay, yeah. Well, you know, we all have our path, but that's not where you are now. And just be glad for what you got now. Who and where and what you got now. You know, hug her extra tight. Mom, I love you. Just hug her extra tight and say, you know, we have each other now. I'm well. I'm healthy now, and you know, we have each other now. And just hug her extra tight and love on her more. You know, that's all you can do. Oh yeah, it's all good. It's never too late though. It's never too late. Who says that? Who says that? You know, who's making the rules here? Everybody's path is individual. Everybody's path is individual. Just make sure your intentions are pure and are good. You're a good person, and you know, take care of you and yours, but mainly you, because if you don't take care of yourself well, like mentally and every way, you're not going to be able to do right by anybody else around you. So make sure that that's covered. Like you said, you're star seed, so you know, and acknowledge and respect like those aspects of yourself, because we live in systems that don't allow us to stop and recognize those things. We live in systems that are eating us alive, that are mangling us alive, that don't allow us to even pay attention to our health properly, let alone, you know, our spiritual identities as starseeds. You know what I mean? So make sure that you make time for that, and you'll be just fine. You know, let your heart glow, let it, you know, let it grow and glow and shine, and you know, yeah. It's all right. You're making the rules. Just be good. Be good to yourself. Be smart. Always think protection in the back of your mind, because I'm always going to be one of those females that are like, make sure you watch your back. Because what we do is what? We create, we nurture, we bring love and light as female beings, and others are doing this as well. But mainly that's what we're doing, right? We're nurturers, right? So we don't always have that time or energy to be in ninja mode, right? To be in ninja mode and in combat mode. I'm more so in that mode. I'm very like militant in certain ways. But as women we need to be able to be women. But in this world today, just make sure just stay up on all, the stuff that's going on. Make sure you're not touching tissues in your door handle and all that wild shit, right? So we're just paying attention to that and just being who we are. That's all we can do. And love on yourself. Can I ask you a question? Yeah, ask me a question. Why is the world getting darker? It's always been dark. We're just seeing it more so. And the vibration is changing because the beings are changing. The the vibration and the beings are changing. And that's affecting like the reality that we're living in. Now, so our reality, like this world is honeycombed with portals and shit. So there's always been portals and things like that, things that are able to come in and out. But there's a balance. There's balance that's maintained, right? But when you have certain beings here that are elevating, that are evolving, it's affecting how we see and we feel things, right? But the plane it's always been this way because what we see mostly is violence, right? We see violence and destruction from humanity. And this is kind of what I was saying in that video that I was talking about the group. It's like when you do these readings enough, the one thing you learn is that it is human nature. Murder, killing, and violence, this is the nature of these beings. And when I say human, I'm saying that generally. Not everybody here is human and not everybody here is balanced. The balanced and good people are in the minority. Most of these beings here that we live amongst, that we call people, their nature is killing and violence and destruction. When you look at the demographics and the profile of those that kill your average teenage girl, teenage to 30-year-old woman, it's the usual suspects. It is their nature. It's like I was saying, like the guy that they just caught, that they caught a few years ago where I live now. And this story was like on Dateline or whatever it was, like last week or 2 weeks ago. Nobody even knew he was here. He was married to a lawyer. He was married to a lawyer, a defense lawyer, high-powered defense lawyer with kids. And this man walked into a woman's house and murdered her in front of her toddler. And, so these people are around us. There's people, I mean, when you look at the clearance rate, Demi, of all of these unsolved murders, it's over 50%. That's over 50% of unsolved murders that have not been solved, probably won't be solved, right? Which means that we're living amongst people who have done this or who have, who do this periodically. When you look at the truck drivers who were going up and down the highway doing this shit for decades and were married with children and grandparents, it is in the nature of some of these beings here that we live amongst, and that's the thing. So it's always been a dark place. It's just I just feel like things are changing because there are certain elements that are changing in certain people that are making it more obvious, which is kind of like a confusing response. But bottom line is I think it's always been this way. And the minority is the actual human. The good people are in the minority. You understand what I'm saying? So we're outnumbered. And that's why we have to be extra conscious because this is their nature. This is the nature. And I hate to say it, but it's mostly males. It's mostly males. If they could channel that into like defending the family and the country, that's a different thing. But the psychosocial aspect, and you throw sexual, like the sexual stuff in it, in the chemical wiring and how they're affected, or how they see women and how they prey, like how they prey on the perceived weak, or they have a need to prey on the perceived weak, and how that translates into them as masculines and males. And then if they're males that have privilege in society, that's a whole other animal. Like, this thing is real, like psychological. It's like psychosocial. And so there's a lot to it, but at the end of the line, it's their nature. Just like they like to go out and kill defenseless animals with, shoot them. Just shoot a random animal that's not harming you, you know, that's done nothing to you. And you go out in the woods and you don't know if that fawn is a mother, if she's pregnant. You don't know anything about the situation. You go out, you shoot a bear, you don't know if the bear is pregnant or nursing. So now you just killed the mother and you got 3 cubs that are going to starve. Like, it's the same mentality. So like the bloodletting, the blood, like, you know what I mean? Like the bloodshed, that's the evil, that's the ugly aspect about our world. It's like that piece of it. And so we have to deal with that in our own species. And that's why we have such an issue. And there's such a need for women to be conscious and to take control of to be responsible for their personal security. Because it's not going to stop. It's not going to stop, But yeah, I think that's why it is. And as far as like ETs and aliens and all that stuff, they've always been here. They're coming from other planes. They're coming through the ocean from other planes. They're coming from within the earth. They've always been here. That's nothing new under the sun. I'm not impressed by any of it. The only thing that becomes a concern for me is how far the government will go to control how we think and how we perceive things. So if you're familiar with Project Bluebeam was a whole government program that was created for the purpose of basically making you believe something that wasn't really true, unless it was how they wanted you to perceive it specifically. So if you've ever done any like research with like in exopolitics, and you have like some of these whistleblowers that talk about this sort of thing, and they talk about, well, they had mentioned something about the government wanting to bring like the second coming, right? So they were going to use this Project Bluebeam technology where they created this hologram that looks so real, like CGI, like 3D CGI of a religious figure, and that would, that's supposed to galvanize like the masses, because the government's whole thing is like, okay, the public, the masses, we're at their mercy and we have to control them. So if they deviate, then our security is compromised, right? So we have to have these systems in place to control how they think, to control their emotions, to control their perception. So that's why there's always optics happening. There's always psyops happening. There's always things that are happening, to control, to make us fearful of certain things, to control, so we're always being swayed and like corralled, so to speak, our feelings, our perception, our thoughts, because they fear us. They fear the masses. So they have to do these these things, because if we wake up and we're like, wait, we don't really need this level of governance. We don't really need you. We don't need to be paying you this amount of money for you to be dicking us around, and you're doing crazy dark shit like trafficking children and murdering them. And, we don't really need you. We don't need to be doing that. I mean, there's some things that may be useful, but so the people wake up and they have this epiphany, which probably won't happen, not the way that it should happen, then they would be in trouble. So that's what this is about. It's always been about the rich people maintaining control, the silent, hidden, super rich, maintaining control and governing and controlling the masses through various means, whether it's religion, it's media, it's the food, it's the chemicals in the food, it's retroactive viruses that they give us in these vaccines. It's whatever it is. There are systems in place to control the masses, because The masses are the greatest threat to the rich, to the 1%. And so, when you think about like the manufacturing and even if some of this stuff is real, because some of the technology is back engineered and some of it is original ancient technology, right? But because they control our information, we don't know that. It's only independent thinkers and researchers that are uncovering this stuff, right? So if we don't know that, and then they're putting this in front of us, and they're like, see, the technology is advanced and blah, 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 blah. And the masses are like, oh, right. Oh, my God. And we're completely sold, right? Well, then, they've accomplished what they needed to. So you're always going to have people, Demi, that are going to be willing to follow. You're always going to have people that are going to be willing to submit their power to somebody else. You're always going to have people who are willing to submit themselves to a third party consciousness, also known as like religion and religious figures. Now, not all religion is bad or anything like that. So I don't want to generalize, but you do have people who prefer to follow instead of lead. And there are reasons for that. I could lead if I wanted to, but I prefer to be a team player. I like to be a team. I like to be a team support member, if you will. But I could lead if I needed to. Like, I'm built for leading, but I like the idea of working with people together, like on an equal playing ground. You know what I mean? So that was a mouthful. Okay, so oh gosh. Yeah. Yeah, super. Yeah, underground. Yeah, violent. Yeah. Yeah, there's a lot happening. There's a lot happening. It's so much it'll give you a headache, and then when you really start to think about it, you just got to bring it back to self, because it's so much, Demi. There's so much. There is so much. Yeah. So what else have you seen out there? What else has been like a thing for you? Living in Oregon, because there's a lot. Oregon is stunning. What's it been like? Were you born there, raised there? Excuse me. You're still there. Okay. I asked if you were born or raised there in Oregon. Born and raised there, sorry. Or did you move there from somewhere else? Oh, okay, good. I hope you enjoy the pizza. I hope you enjoy the pizza. I had me some pizza too tonight. I like my pizzas. I like the crust light, and I like half of it plain and then half of it with pepperoni. I like my crust really soft. I hope you guys enjoy it. I think you probably lived in Crescent City, moved to Oregon. Oh, okay. Nice. Well, listen, Demi, I'm gonna let you get going since your food is there. So, um, yeah. So go ahead and email me, and I'll send you a link to my other channel. And go ahead and get you some pizza, girl. Relax. And if you've got a YouTube channel where you're doing nails and stuff, I'd like to see that as well. Cause I've been watching videos. I got to go through a whole like beauty school program over here in order to get certified. Yeah, definitely. I really like talking to you. So make sure you email me and yeah. Okay. All right, girl. Have a good night. Enjoy your pizza. All right, bye guys. Take care. Until next time.